What does Jesus mean for our lives? Well, that's what we've been looking at all week as we've been looking at the Gospel of John and the I am passages of Jesus. And today we wrap up with one of my favorite I am statements that Jesus makes coming up. Hello once again, and welcome to the One Verse Daily Devotional. My name's Matt, and we look at just one simple verse a day to grow a little bit deeper in our faith. And I'm excited that you're here with me today on the podcast or on YouTube or Instagram. Thank you for joining me. I love this week just diving into the I am passages of Jesus. I'll try to spend less time explaining it today. Go back and watch the other videos, but Jesus makes these I am statements that really refer all the way back to Moses when he asked God at the burning bush, "Who should I say sent me?" when he was supposed to go back to Egypt and deliver the Israelites from Pharaoh. And God said, "I am," which is beautiful, but it leaves some questions. Okay, God, I am what? What does that really mean for our life? And I love that Jesus is the fulfillment of all things. And so even in this situation, he fulfills that statement. And so thousands of years later, after that statement was made, Jesus comes, and here in the Gospel of John, time and time again, he makes these I am statements. I am the good shepherd. I am the vine. I am the resurrection. I am the way, the truth, and the life. All things that we've learned this week. And now today is probably my favorite one. And matter of fact, it kind of entails a lot of the other ones. It kind of wraps together several of the other verses. And I just love how the Bible works that way. Our one verse today comes out of the Gospel of John, chapter 8, and it's verse 12. And it says, "When Jesus spoke again to the people, he said, 'I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life.'" What a beautiful verse. We could just read this a couple times, pray and be done, right? I love this verse. He was speaking to the people. He was teaching the people. He was answering the question, who are you? Who is this guy? Who is this Jesus? The same question that many of us at some point in our life are asking today, that we should continue to ask today, right? And so he makes it very clear. I am the light of the world. It doesn't get any better than that, right? We need light. Right now, I have light on me. If I didn't have light on me, matter of fact, I had some old videos that look horrible because I didn't have the right light. And you go look at it and you're like, man, I look so dark and it's horrible. And that's just me because I'm trying to do this YouTube thing again, right? And I'm like, oh, this looks so bad. I invest in this one little light that's off camera, you can't see, and now it's lighting up this whole area, right? It's light. It's shining the light, right? If you're ever lost in the woods, what do you want? A flashlight to light the way, right? Jesus says, I am the light of the world. He lightens the whole world. He brings light to the world, that we live in a dark and hurting world. This is a hurting world filled with darkness. But as the Bible says, and as we know, if you just flip on a light, light always overcomes darkness. And so Jesus says, I am the light of the world. I love that. What I love about it too is not only does he say that he's the light of the world, he also calls us to be lights of the world, that he has empowered us to take his light and then reflect it out. We see that in, not right here in the Gospel of John, but in the Gospel of Matthew, right at the beginning of the Sermon on the Mount, where he says, you are the light of the world. Well, how are we the light of the world? Because he's the light of the world. We get to know him and we reflect his light out to this dark and hurting world. That's being a light bearer, a follower of Jesus. He says, whoever follows me will never walk in darkness. I love that because I said how these kind of tie into other verses. Yesterday, we learned that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. And we said, if you want to know God's will for your life, if you want to discover your purpose and your gifts and abilities and talents, grow closer to Jesus. The Bible makes that clear. And so here we have it again. You get close to the light of the world and you never walk in darkness. If you're not sure what your path is, get close to Jesus. And he is the way, but he's also the light. I mean, how amazing is that? He's the path and he's the light for the path. Get closer to Jesus. He's everything, right? Doesn't stop there. It goes on. I feel like a infomercial, like, but wait, there's more, right? He says, but will have the light of life. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. Now we even get more. It's not just a light to light the way. It's a light that leads to life. And again, what did we learn this week? I am the way, the truth, and the life. Even before that, we learned that Jesus is the resurrection and the life. Over and over again, we see that Jesus is life. He just didn't raise from the dead. He brings life. He just didn't rise from the dead. He is the resurrection. He is the light of the world. He is the way. He is the path. He lights the path. He brings life. This light leads to life. And then on top of that, he puts the ball in our court, allows us to be a part of the story, and says, now I'm going to make you also the light of the world. Reflect my light to this dark and hurting world. I'm empowering you to go out with the light and the love of Jesus, Jesus saying it to us, his light, and spread it to this dark world. I mean, that's the beauty of the Christian life. That's why I love following Jesus. He's light. He's the way. He shines a light. He brings life. He brings dead things to life. And then he gives us a purpose and says, now you go be the light of the world. I hope you'll do that. I hope you'll grow closer to him. I hope you'll experience his light and his life, and then that you will go in turn and be the light to this dark and hurting world. Have a great day.